Good morning, students. This is next chapter, that is fourth chapter. We have completed three chapters. I hope you are very clear about the three chapters. Now I will discuss about this one, that is structure of atom. Simply it is called atomic structure. Atomic structure, that means what is present in atom. So different scientists discuss the structure of atom. We will see those points now. First, the term atom was derived from a Greek word, that is atomio. The term atom was derived from a Greek word, that is atomio. This is Greek word. From this word, this term was derived. That is the first point. Next, it was discovered by John Dalton. That means he is the scientist. John Dalton is the scientist who discovered atom. According to him, atom is indivisible part of the substance. According to John Dalton, atom is indivisible part of the substance. Indivisible part means it cannot be splitted. The finest part of the substance is called atom. That is the definition of atom according to John Dalton. Next, after John Dalton, one more scientist has come. He is Thomson, J.J. Thomson. He also discussed about structure of atom. We see what he discussed. According to Thomson, atom has spherical shape. According to Thomson, atom has a spherical shape. You know, spherical shape means globular shape, round shape, in which both positive charge and negative charge spreads over all the atom like seeds present in watermelon. What he is telling? Atom has a spherical shape. That is the first point, in which positive charge and negative charge, that means positive particles and negative particles, spreads over all the atom. That means they are present randomly, unequally. Unequally means number of positive charges are not equal to number of negative charges. Nothing but number of positive particles are not equal to number of negative particles. That means atom contains so many positive particles and so many negative particles. So many negative particles. Those particles spreads. Spreads means they are present randomly in atom, just like seeds present in watermelon. You know watermelon. That watermelon contains so many seeds. Those seeds are not present at one place. They are present in different place in watermelon. So like that, positive charges and negative charges spreads over all the atom. Next, this is also called watermelon model. This model is also called watermelon model because positive particles and negative particles spreads over all the atom. That is why it is called watermelon model. Next, he could not explain stability of the atom. This is the drawback of Dalton's model. He could not explain stability of the atom. Stability. Why he could not explain stability? Because we don't know how many number of positive particles and how many number of negative particles present in atom. If number of positive particles and negative particles are in equal number, if suppose number of positive particles and number of negative particles are equal, then atom gets stability. But according to him, what he is saying? He is saying that positive particles and negative particles spreads over all the atom. He couldn't say that how many number of particles and how many number of negative particles present in atom. That is why atom does not get stability. According to him, atom does not get stability. So that is the drawback of Thomson model. So he could not explain stability of that. One more point. According to him, the radius of the atom is, that means the radius, that means from center of the atom to this distance, that is called radius. So radius of the atom is 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. That means very small value. According to him, the radius of the atom is how much? 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. So this is about Thomson model. That means Thomson discovered atom like that. That is the postulates according to Thomson. Now one more model is there. That means Rutherford model. Rutherford model. That means scientist Rutherford discovered atom. That means according to him, what are present in atom, that we have to see. Based on one experiment, he could explain some points. This is the experiment. He took one alpha particles, source of alpha particles. This is source of alpha particles. Here you have to know one point, that is alpha particles contains positive particles. I repeat once again, alpha particles contains positive rays. That means alpha particles are positive particles. This is source of alpha particles. Here he has put one narrow slit. Here he has put one screen. What he has done, he passed alpha particles through this narrow slit. Then most of the alpha particles, that means 99% of the alpha particles deflected. That means after passing these alpha particles through this narrow slit, they cannot pass in straight line. That is the main point. They cannot pass in straight line. Deflect means we are passing alpha particles in this direction, but after passing through this narrow slit, they deflected. Deflected means different direction. They deflected. This is deflection. Those particles undergo deflection. But very few particles, out of 2000 particles, one particle will be reflected back. That means when that ray is passed through this narrow slit, that ray only got reflected. I repeat once again, this is very important point. According to Thomson, Thomson did one experiment. Based on that experiment, he could explain some points regarding atom. What is the experiment? He took alpha rays particles. This is source of alpha rays. Alpha particles contain positive particles. That means alpha ray particles are positive rays. He arranged one narrow slit and one screen. This is narrow slit, one screen. He passed most of the alpha particles through that narrow slit. After passing narrow slit, those alpha particles undergo deflection. That means they cannot move straight line. They move different direction. That is why that is called deflection. But out of so many rays, very few rays, that means one ray out of 1000 rays or out of 2000 rays will be that ray reflected back. That means when that ray is passed through this narrow slit, that ray got reflected. So he observed those points. Most of the rays undergo deflection, very few rays reflected back. Based on these points, based on this experiment, he could explain some points. Now we will see those points. See, observations. Most of the alpha particles undergoes deflection. I told you already, most of the alpha particles undergoes deflection. Next, very few particles reflected back. Very few particles reflected back. Based on these two observations, he could explain some conclusions. What are the conclusions? See, most of the space of the atom is empty. Most of the space of the atom is empty. Why he could say like that? Because most of the rays undergo deflection. That means most of the atom is empty. That is the main point, first point. Next, the positive charge of the atom is located at the center of the atom. That is called nucleus. I repeat once again. The positive charge of the atom is located at the center of the atom. That is called nucleus. Why he said this point? Because most of the rays pass through the atom. When they pass through the atom, they undergo deflection. That is why most of the space is empty. But I told you one point. Very few rays reflected back. Because why those few rays reflected back? When those rays passed through center of the atom, those rays only reflected back. When those rays passed through center of the atom, then because of that reason they reflected back. Because the center of the atom contains nucleus. He named that part. That part is called nucleus. Nucleus contains positive particles. Nucleus contains positive particles. We pass which rays? Alpha rays. Alpha rays also contains positive particles. So between positive reflections are there. That is why those very few rays reflected back. The rays which passed through center of the atom got reflected. The rays which are not passed through center of the atom undergo deflection. So you have to catch these 2 points. I repeat once again. The rays which are passed through center of the atom got reflected. Why? We are passing alpha rays. Alpha rays contains positive particles. Center of the atom contains nucleus. Nucleus contains positive particles. Nucleus also contains positive particles. Between positive reflections are there. That is why those rays are reflected. Why most of the rays undergo deflection? Because those rays are not passed through center of the atom. That is very important point. Next, the mass of the atom is present in nucleus. What is the point here? Every substance having mass. So the mass of the atom which is present in where? Nucleus. So nucleus is the mass of the atom. That is according to Rutherford. Next, according to him, the atomic size is how much? 10 to the power of minus 10 meters as Thomson. And the size of the nucleus is 10 to the power of minus 15 meters. I repeat once again. According to Rutherford, atomic size is 10 to the power of minus 10 meters and size of the nucleus is 10 to the power of minus 15 meters. That means compared to atomic size, nucleus size is very less. You have to remember that point. Compared to atomic size, nucleus size is very less. Next, according to him, the electrons revolves around the nucleus in circular paths like planets revolves around the sun. This is also one of the important point. According to him, electrons revolves around the nucleus. That means nucleus is present at center of the atom. That point is telling by Rutherford. So electrons revolves around that nucleus, just like planets revolves around the sun. You know that around sun planets revolves. This is called planetary model because planets are revolving around the sun. Here electrons are revolving around the nucleus. That is why it is also called planetary model. He could not explain stability of the atom. He also could not explain stability of the atom because when the electrons revolves around the nucleus, after some time those electrons loses energy. Finally it falls into nucleus. When the electrons falls into nucleus, then explosion takes place. If explosion takes place, then atom does not get stability. I repeat once again, listen carefully. According to him, electrons revolves around the nucleus. When electrons revolves around the nucleus, that electrons loses energy at one instant, at one time. Automatically they fall into nucleus. When they fall into nucleus, atom become unstable because of explosion. Why explosion takes place? Electrons having negatively charged particles. Nucleus contains positively charged particles. So when these electrons falls into nucleus, automatically explosion takes place. Then atom loses stability. That means atom does not get stability. That is why he couldn't explain stability of that. So these are the points regarding Thomson and Rutherford. You have to remember these points carefully. In next video we will discuss remaining topics. Thank you.